Ciryl Gane versus Ante Delija is a heavyweight bout. Ciryl Gane has achieved a record of 6 wins with absolutely no losses. Ante Delija has achieved a record of 17 wins, 3 losses. Alright, so Ciryl Gane is currently 29, almost 30 years old. Ante Delija, also 30 years old. So they're basically the same age, so I don't think age is going to play a big factor in this fight. Now, Ciryl Gane, he usually likes to fight at about 250 pounds. Ante Delija, his last weigh-in was 238 pounds, so that is a 12-pound difference there. Who knows if it will be an advantage for Ciryl Gane. We saw one of the fights on the main card just this weekend where he was way undersized in the fight, but he had so much more speed, and he ended up knocking the other guy out. He was the underdog, and he won the fight. But Ciryl Gane is 18 pounds larger in this fight, and who knows if that's going to be an advantage in this fight or if it's going to be a disadvantage in this fight. Also, Ciryl Gane is 6 foot 4 inches tall. Ante Delija 6 foot 5 inches tall. Pretty similar there. And then for the reaches, 83-inch reach for Ciryl Gane, and then a 79-inch reach for Ante Delija, so a definite advantage there for Ciryl Gane. Now, let's get into those betting odds. Alright, so Ciryl Gane is currently the minus 600 huge favorite to win this fight. Ante Delija is the plus 430 heavy underdog in this one. Now, if you look at those Tapology predictions, out of about 719 different votes, 92% of the votes are going for Ciryl Gane, mainly by KO, and it's pretty split between submission and decision. 8% of the votes are going for Delija, mainly by KO or decision. Not much think this fight is going to end as submission. A lot of people think it's going to either be a KO finish for Gane or a decision win for Gane. So now, let's get into the video. Alright, so as you guys know, Ciryl Gane is currently 6-0. He started his career off with a first round front choke submission, followed by a second round KO, and then a first round uppercut and ground pound TKO. All of that getting him a shot inside the UFC against Rafael Pessoa, and he very much impressed with a first round arm triangle choke win over Rafael Pessoa, who was undefeated at 9-0 at the time, and then he just kept on winning with a third round heel hook submission over Don'Tale Mayes, and then a unanimous decision win over Tanner Boser. Alright, so, Ciryl Gane was actually supposed to fight 3 other times inside of 2020. He was supposed to fight Shamil Abdurakhimov back in April of 2020. That fight got canceled, so he was going to fight Sergey Pavlovich in, I think, August. That fight fell through as well, and he was now supposed to fight Shamil Abdurakhimov on this date of October 17th, but that fight fell through, so now he's going to be fighting Ante Delija. Alright, so Ante Delija started his career off very, very good, as he ended up winning his first 8 pro MMA bouts, but in his next fight, ended up getting his first ever loss, came back with a win, lost his next one by second round Kimura, won his next fight, and then got a first round KO, a first round north-south choke submission, a unanimous decision win, and then another win. But in his next fight, he ended up fighting a very good fighter who just got a win this Saturday in Marcin Tybura, and he ended up losing that fight because he got a leg injury sustained in the very first round and had to pull out of the fight. But he did come back after that loss with 3 wins in a row, 2 by unanimous decision, and 1 most recently over Oli Thompson by second round KO. Alright, so a lot of people right now are thinking this fight is going to end as a KO. Honestly, Ciryl Gane has amazing submission skills as well as his striking. Ante Delija, he has pretty good submission skills as well, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Ciryl Gane to submit a guy like Ante Delija. Now, it's going to be a lot easier to KO a guy like Ante Delija because he does have a pretty weak chin. He has been KO'd in the past. Ciryl Gane can definitely get a KO in this fight. It is a heavyweight bout. KOs happen literally left and right in this division, and I honestly think that's going to happen. I do think Ciryl Gane is definitely going to win this fight, either by unanimous decision or KO, but I'm sort of leaning on the KO side. I do think he's going to knock out Ante Delija in this fight to get the win by KO in the second round. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure you put in the comment section below, and I expect to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.